So, do you remember how it all began?
I do remember how it all began. It began with our amazing trip across France 30 years ago.
It was quite a trip.
It was quite a trip. We started in Normandy and then we walked all the way down to the Mediterranean coast.
We did 680 miles.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out about the trip?
I think for me it's waking up when the sun rose, walking all day and then going to sleep when it was dark.
And I think you had that joy of just moving through the landscape, just watching everything evolve, and like you say, just living at the rhythm of nature is just a wonderful thing to do. So yeah, we came back to England and it kind of felt no one was really celebrating the English countryside.
I don't think they were, and we were keen to change the way that walking and hiking were perceived, so that it's not about how many miles you clock up, but about spending that time out in nature and in the countryside.
Yeah, it's that joy of being outside. It's such a liberating, freeing feeling of just walking the landscape, and England's such a wonderful place to do it.
It's been an amazing 23 years.
It has. Yeah, so to think we started with day experiences and short weekends that we were fitting in around our day jobs at the time, our paid work. So yeah, it's quite, look at some of these old leaflets. It's quite something. So do you remember our first office?
Yes, the converted piggery on the Fonthill estate. Bit drafty in the winter.
It was very drafty in the winter.
Do you remember the glittery string?
I do remember the glittery string, yeah. So of course when we started, nothing was digital.
No.
So we literally had to measure all the walking routes on a physical map with a bit of string, and then measure the bit of string to know how long those walks were going to be. So yeah, quite different days. So we moved from guided into self-guided walking holidays. This is actually our first self-guided walking breaks brochure. So Wiltshire, Dorset and the Cotswolds.
And then we introduced other counties of the southwest.
We
so
did.
Somerset, Devon,
Yeah.
Bath and Avon.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've now got walks all the way really from the very top of the Cotswolds, the northern edge of the Cotswolds, all the way down to the South Dorset coast. And you can pretty much walk all the way through.
Of course, another thing that's changed is the team. When it began, it was just the two of us.
It was. And we're now a wonderful team of 7 who do a fantastic job at supporting all the wonderful things that Fit Trails does. So it's not always been an easy journey.
No.
There's been some challenges along the way.
There have. I was unwell for a few years and then diagnosed bipolar.
Yeah. That was a challenging time.
It was.
And then of course COVID came along, which caused us to have to close the business for a couple of years.
If it wasn't for everyone's generosity and support, then we wouldn't be able to have bounced back in the way that we have.
Absolutely, yeah. People were so generous and so kind to us at that time. And to be here now, stronger, and with most of the team that we had then back with us, it's really special.
So with everything that's happened in the last 23 years, it feels a really good point in time to pause and reflect and to think about how we might refresh our brand.
It is. It's a great time to think back through our story and all the things that go into making a Fit Trails trip really special. So I'm really excited for our new look. It feels really grounded and rooted in Fit Trails' story, and just simply conveys all those wonderful things that Fit Trails trip is about.
I love the colours. I like the burnt ochre and the blue and the green. I love the textures behind the colours, the grass that comes through, the sort of leaf veins, those sorts of things.
Absolutely, that inspiration of weathered paths, of walking the landscape, feeling connected to the earth, connected to the stories of the people around you. It's captures so much of what Foot Trails is about. And it kind of takes us all the way back to the very beginning, to 30 years ago and walking across France, and those simple pleasures.
It's always been about encouraging people to get outdoors and enjoy what nature has to offer.
Yeah, that connection of landscape, of being outside, that interaction, that was the inspiration.
It's what we always wanted to do, and it's such a privilege to still be doing it today.
It is, and it's so exciting to think about the next few years and Foot Trails' journey as it carries on.
Yes, it's really exciting. Here's to Foot Trails' future.